So we're going to start by going over a little bit of the contra body movement. We're going to start from our feet. We're going to move on the way up. Because when we first learn our basic, we learn the steps by themselves. And of course, when we normally learn how to do our basic, we're mainly just focused on stepping on the right foot at the right time. The thing is, though, there's a little bit more styling that actually happens with that if you want to get a little bit more technical. If we're talking about our feet specifically, let's say this is the ground, this is my foot. I don't want to be just stepping flat foot all the time. I want to step on the toe of my foot and transfer that weight so I get flat footed. So when I step with my left foot, I don't step flat. I step on my toe and see how my heel is raised. So that's on one. On the and, I'll transfer my weight. So I basically bring my left heel down, bring my right heel up, and I step on two. I transfer my weight, I step on three. So when we're doing our basic, when we're talking about the feet specifically, you step with the ball of your foot on the beat, you transfer the weight between those beats, then you step again on the next count. So we're going to do just a little exercise here. What I want us to do is we're basically going to kind of go through this slowly. We're going to step 1 and 2, transfer the weight, 3, transfer the weight, step, transfer the weight, 6, transfer the weight, 7, transfer the weight. And don't worry about anything about your upper body just yet, mainly focus on the feet. And we'll do it one more time. 1, shift, 2, shift, 3, shift, 5, shift, 6, shift, 7, shift. And with that, when we transfer our weight there, not only does it give you a little bit more control of your feet when you're trying to be fast, because of course, if I'm trying to do a very fast basic, if I'm trying to be flat-footed, it doesn't quite work as well. But if I actually am on the ball of my feet and transfer that weight, I can move a little bit quicker, have a little bit more movement. Plus, when I'm transferring the weight between my feet, you may notice my hips moving side to side with it. That weight shift is what causes our hips to move. And then you can extend that motion. That's what's happening with the feet. When you step with your left foot, when you think about the contra body motion, I usually think of kind of a diagonal zigzag across my body. I step with the left foot. That causes my right hip to go out. So from this side, it's my right hip going out. Now the thing with that, my hip is not just going straight out to the side. It's actually going diagonally back to the right to create a little bit of 3D motion. So when you step with that, I want you to think basically there's like a rope that's right behind you, pulling that hip diagonally to the side. And when I shift the weight, that causes my hip to move to the other side. So the hip changes with the feet. So we have the very beginning of our diagonal here, left foot, right hip. Now, of course, we're not just dancing with a completely still upper body. We need to move our upper body also. There's two things with that. There's the shoulders and the arms. What happens with our shoulders? We step on the left foot, our right hip goes out and diagonally back. Our left shoulder goes diagonally forward to the left. So that's part of that zigzag. Left foot, right hip, left shoulder. And when I shift, my other shoulder pops out there. And this motion is all happening at the same time. This is that contra body movement. And just to finish off our movement, you may have noticed my hands shifting. When my left shoulder's out, my left arm is out. My right arm, if you want to exaggerate it, you can almost be like you're touching your shoulder there, but it basically comes into the front. And your arms shift in a circular motion between every step. So when you step on the left foot, right hip, left chest there, and right arm in front, everything shifts at the same time. That gets you a nice fluid motion. and gets you a nice look with your body instead of just being still as you step your basic. So let's try just a couple steps in place here. So starting with the left foot. Step with the left foot, right hips out, left chest, right arm. Shift to the right foot, shift to the left, shift to the right, shift to the left, and shift, and shift, and shift. That's a very quick overview of the contra body movement. Obviously, it takes a lot more than that to master it. What I recommend in terms of practicing it, start with just the feet. Basically go in the same order we just did. Start with your feet shifting. Then you can add in your hip. Then add in your shoulder and your arms. Add it in piece by piece until you can get your whole body moving at the same time. And practice it with music, practice it without. If you're standing and cooking, just maybe do a little bit of this at the counter. Basically, just practice it whenever you can.